Hello, so today I'll be showing you how I'll be doing my 2026 bridal makeup look, which will look like this. I would say it is a pretty simple look. It will be obviously Chinese makeup inspired, but I think it's a pretty simple look. I basically just emphasize my bone structure features, and if you would like to know how I achieved this look, please follow along. I already did my base, and so next I'm going to do brows. I already filled in this one, and I just used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in medium brown, and I like to just follow the natural shape of my brows. I do have a slight arch, and I like to thin out my tail, and so I did pluck them a bit before yesterday. And yeah, I just fill in the top like this. You can go up here to like mimic some natural strokes and define the arch. My arch really isn't defined, and so I like to fill in some hairs here, do the line at the bottom, and then just define the tail. I like to also elongate my tail. I learned that from like a Chinese makeup artist. It does make your makeup look more delicate and elegant by having an elongated tail. And whenever you feel like they are similar-ish, I would just go in with the Benefit Brow Gel that I always use. I do like the front fluffier, and I realized that brow gel does make the hairs a little more fluffy. Yeah, so that's brows. So for eyeshadow, I'll be using 3 products. I'll be using the Too Faced Born This Way palette and the Charlotte Tilbury Quad in Pillow Talk, and also the Urban Decay Moondust in Space Cowboy. I'm going to first go in with Swan, this really light cream white color, and just put it all over the lid. You can put a little bit on the bottom too. This is just to set a base for your eyeshadow and clean up any discoloration you may have that you couldn't conceal with your base. Then I'm going to go in with a nude. This is a light tan color, and I'm going to use this just to emphasize the bone structure on my eyes. So I'll put it here around my nose, on the lid, and as you can see, there's a natural shadow here because of the eyeball where the eye socket goes back in. It will naturally make a shadow there, and so you're basically just darkening all the areas that are dark. Next, I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury palette, and I'm going in with the bottom right with a pretty flat, dense brush, and you're just going to define the lash line with this darker color. So just pick a shade that's like slightly darker than the tan color you picked. And you can make it heavier on the outside here. And drag it a little bit down here again. After that, you can go back in with the fluffy brush that you did earlier for the initial color and just blend the outside a little bit more. Then I'm going to start highlighting, and so I'm going to use this lightest shade in the Charlotte Tilbury Quad and you can take like a fluffy medium-sized brush, and I'm just going to place that on the middle part of the lid. So you'll see where I kind of contoured my eye. This is basically just highlighting the middle that I did not really put in too much shadows in yet. I'm going to go back in with the Too Faced palette in the darkest color, that's Matte Caught Truffle, and I'm going to use a really tiny liner brush, and I'm basically going to use this color to define my lash line a bit more, just to add a little bit more color, and also gives you a guideline for where you're going to put your eyeliner later. Then lastly for eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with Moondust in Space Cowboy. You can use one of your smaller fingers, like the pinky or the ring finger, and dab it in and just lightly tap it on the center of the lid. This is basically a translucent glitter. It's really pretty. it's also big and chunky. It's not like the shimmer eyeshadows where it's like a fine glitter, but you'll actually see like the individual chunks. And you can also put a little bit on the 卧蚕. For eyeliner, I'm going in with the JUDYDOLL Slim Liquid Eyeliner in deep brown, or you can use black. I just bought brown because it was on sale and a little bit cheaper than the black one. But what I like to do is I'll make a little corner for the wing that I want, the angle, and I'll just fill in the lash line. I will make the inside corner thinner than the outside corner. I realized that that suits my eye shape. And so you can use the eyeshadow map that you did earlier and map out your wing. And after you're done, you can just fill in the lash line, and again, I'll go lighter as I get to the inside corner. Next, for lashes, I'm just going to curl my lashes and do mascara like I usually do. So I like to flip it up a bit to accentuate the curl. And you can also flip it, curl the bottom lashes. I'll be using the CLIO Kill Lash Mascara. This is the most waterproof mascara I ever came across, and on your wedding day, of course, you don't want your mascara to run, so I do recommend this one. And coat the bottom lashes. For contour, I'm going in with Tuco for School Art Class by Rodin, and I like to mix these two shades, the darker ones, and I'll just start off with making like a V over here, and then I'll open it up here like a ba. In Chinese, the character for 8 is called ba, and you can make another V down here and another ba here and a V here. So this is basically just following where your cartilage and your nose is, rather than just going like straight down 2 lines for contouring, which, you know, if you want to do that, that's fine too. I've seen a lot of people do that and pull it off. I kind of like a stronger nose contour too, because I realize my nose is kind of flat and tiny. So it's up to you how you want to contour your nose. And I like to also contour a little bit down here. It's got philtrum, or just the bottom of the nose, and a little bit down here. For face contour, I know that some people like to do like the V here, but what I've been doing actually is just going down like a line here. That kind of just slims down your entire face rather than making sharp cheekbones, which I feel like my cheekbones are already sort of accentuated, so I'll just kind of slim down this entire section over here. For blush, I'm going in with Rose Beige. This is a neutral rose color. It's not too bright or anything. I realized that I kind of like these muted colors. I found out that I am a soft autumn in the color analysis, and I guess soft autumn's like more muted, earthy tones. And for blush, I like to just focus it in the apples of my cheek a bit. I used to like go all the way up there, but that will elongate your face a bit more. But if you kind of center it over here, it won't make your face look as wide. And I'll put a little bit on the bridge of my nose here too. For highlighter, I'm going to use this liquid highlighter. It's called Glow Milk by the Beauty Crop. I got this as a gift, so I don't exactly know where to get it, but I realized that it's really, really pretty. It comes in like a little nail polish bottle, and I like to dab just like a few drops at the back of my hand. And what I'll do is I'll take, you know, one of my pinky or ring fingers. I'll kind of melt it on my hand first. And I'll dab it along my cheeks over here. I'll just do a little bit around the nose tip here. My favorite spot to put it also is the Cupid's bow here. And just blend, blend, blend. For lips, I'm going to go in with Max Chili. You know, this is my favorite shade. It's like the perfect warm red. It's brick. It's a little bit, yeah, browny, orangey. And I like to first make an X along the Cupid's bow to define the shape. Or you can use a lip liner too. I have one, but it's like a darker red, so I guess I'm not going to use it. And I like to make the two peaks of the lips a little more accentuated and sharper, and make sure you align the two peaks right under your nostrils. What I also like to do is I like to accentuate the corners of your mouth into a little smile. I realize that that doesn't make your mouth look kind of sad and droopy. So you can fill in the corners a little bit upwards. For the last step, I don't know if I'm going to do this yet for the actual wedding day, but I do this a lot usually, and I'll go in with my liquid liner and I'll fill in the beauty marks that I have. And so I do have some original ones that I had since I was a kid, so I'll just kind of define the ones that I already have. And I like to put one over here on my nose. And then one around the eye. This is also one I already had. It just adds a little bit more character to your face, I think. So yeah, that is my completed bridal makeup. What I plan to do, I might make some adjustments for the day of. I know I didn't put on false lashes today. I'm still thinking if I want to use the individuals. But besides that, this will basically be the look I'm going for. Yeah, thanks for watching. 是心动